I'm making a reaction time game, kind of like those TikTok filters. So first I got my text box and I named it letter text. This will show the letter the player has to press on their keyboard, but for now it's only checking that. So I obviously changed the text to press and I got this. As you can see, the computer tells you to press a letter, making you attempt to press it as fast as possible. How exactly did I do this? First, I made the device wait a certain amount of time. If the computer didn't choose a random letter, then the letter would be chosen. Once the computer chooses a letter, the player would input the letter that it was chosen, and if it is the right letter, then the computer will say, "Good job, correct." I put this all into one method, then I repeated it every time. Now, if you would like an actual tutorial on how to make this, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll probably do it. So I tried adding a timer, like any reaction game would. At the beginning, the timer worked perfectly, but after the player chooses the right letter, then it would stop. But then when the computer has to choose it again, then the timer would continue from where it left off. It was always going on, just not in front of me. So then I tried doing another way to fix the problem, and it kind of worked, but not completely. Here you can see that the stopwatch or timer works. It continues and then stops, but it goes back to 0 before you can even see anything happen. I'm 88% sure I used a tutorial on YouTube and then altered it to fix my game. It did work, but I still had to add more. I eventually was able to make it work, but before I talk more about this, can we all just agree that having a really dark gray is better than having a black background? To fix this, I just had to make a variable that would stop the timer each time it would choose again or the player presses it, but then it would continue again. And I did use a tutorial to make the timer work. And after that, I decided that I wanted to add a high-low score. Now, if you don't know what a high-low score is when working with reaction time, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just your lowest score is going to be your fastest time and your highest score is going to be your biggest time. So it's kind of the opposite when you're playing a game, because usually your highest score is your best, but in this case it's your worst. So as you can see, my lowest score is 0.37 seconds and my highest is 0.82 seconds. I want to see if you guys can beat my time, because I'd like to believe I have a very fast reaction time when it comes to the keyboard. It was actually surprisingly easy to make this, by the way. So first I made a list that would be named all scores. I will say that at first I did try adding an array, but I realized that I couldn't make a list of scores with that for certain reasons. In the check input letter method, I added your current time or your score to the list of all scores, and it would pretty much accumulate. Then I would sort all the scores out from smallest to biggest. If you don't do this, then the most recent score would most likely be your lowest score, even though it could be false. Then I would make the low score text the smallest score in the list or value in the list, and then I would make the high score text the highest value in the list. Again, if you would like a part 2, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will most likely do it. Now, I did want to incorporate some kind of art into my game, even if I'm not the best artist in the world. Therefore, I tried making tiny little keys on a keyboard to represent each letter. So instead of recording myself making each and every letter of the alphabet, I just recorded what the keys are gonna look like itself. So enjoy. And give me tips, because I really am trying to become a better artist here. I did not acknowledge how long it would actually take me to replace each letter with the keyboard, because that means I would have to make 26 images and then make an array in those 26 images and then correspond it to the letters I make the computer choose. I changed up some fonts, but I know I said dark gray background is better than black, so what you are about to see is not the final product, I promise. I was actually really proud that this worked out well. I mean, I didn't think I would be able to get to this part, especially because I don't like to not copy code, but you know, it wasn't that hard of a project. I guess I just wanted to like find a way to make a project that was not too bad and that I would actually enjoy myself. So I need a title, and I decided to name that title to the reaction game because I couldn't think of anything more creative. And I was begging people to give me titles, and all they could have told me was reaction time, so I'm sorry. I did add a quick how to play. It's pretty self-explanatory, so there's that part. So this is the part that kind of scares me, and I feel like it's gonna make people hate the game. It has a timer before you start it, and that's because the stopwatch starts automatically, right? So in the instructions, I specifically said press the button or press a letter when there is a letter, but I'm really hoping they don't do anything. And there is a tiny little bug. If you spam letters or press the letter too many times, then it will start to like go on like a frenzy, I guess, and it'll just keep popping up letters. So if you do come across that and you're watching this, then leave it alone, and I think it will get back on track. It's not too bad of a bug. Now let's make my thumbnail with me. That will be the end of the video. You can check out the game on Unity, like play.unity.com, and then itch.io. It is called the Reaction Game. Make sure to go play it, and remember, like, subscribe, and comment if you like the video and if you want more. Goodbye.